Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Many Nigerians went to our shop, particularly last week, looking following the years, lining up other Nigerians out. Some are men, some are boys. So let's take it particularly personal. What was your reaction seeing that kind of video going viral? Like, did you even posting it online?
Frankly, I wasn't surprised, and this is my honest opinion, for the simple reason that I've been monitoring the evolvement of negative ethnic profiling, sentiments, stigmatization that has permeated the Nigerian society. In particular, in Edo State, especially around the Uromi, for some time now they've been complaining. In fact, I have it on record that one of their senators, a former governor, stood up in the Senate and mentioned clearly that herders, and he added even Fulani to it, Fulani herders have been attacking their farms, killing people, raping women, and things like that. So that sentiment was quite palpable. What we did not anticipate that it would happen on a major highway where you expect that there is reasonable federal security presence. And so when the incident happened, of course we were shocked by it. It showed the level of deterioration of public security in the country. And the time it took for the truck to be stopped, for the individuals in the truck to be arrested initially, and then before they were eventually incinerated. It was enough time for the public security department to have responded.
Okay. Going by what you've said, many of them were picked up based on their ethnic profile and saying, oh, they are from Nigeria. This kind of precedent that you're seeing, how bad it can go, because this is just the beginning. We don't know how far it can go.
There are two issues that I would describe as tectonic templates upon which Nigeria lie, that is ethnicity and religion. Those two issues can make or mar us. If we use them positively, then it will strengthen our unity. If we use them negatively, then they will lead to our destruction. Unfortunately, those two issues have been invoked by the killings in Uromi. These were hunters who purportedly were Hausas, most likely Muslims, traveling from River State through Edo State to the north. They were waylaid and then killed in the manner that they were killed. Most people don't recognize the emotions that some northerners are expressing as the Muslim faith prohibits the use of fire for torture or killing. It's a very direct and clear injunction. And so when people saw fire being used in the manner that it was used to burn, as it were, corpses of persons who had been killed, it was another level of emotion. So ethnicity and religion are very sensitive issues in Nigeria, and they've been evoked by this particular development. I'm very happy with the steps that the governor has taken without detention. The president who has spoken, the governor of Kano State has also spoken. Several other leaders have spoken. So I think it has helped in managing the situation. But the big lesson that is yet to be addressed is how do we improve public security.
I'm going to all the lesson on public security. I think some are also the opinion that one of the major reasons why Nigerians are taking to their hands to more like take justice, more like taking justice to their hands, lack of clarity for the security, lack of security, and over time, like these issues are built up over time. Like issues are like this happen. People were killed in farms in their villages and every other part of Nigeria, and there were no concrete steps taken by security or by the government of the day. So it's lead to people taking more like having this kind of attitude of jumbo justice. Do you think it's safe to say this is one of the core reasons why Nigerians are taking money to their hands?
Oh yes, I started by admitting that public security has deteriorated, and I'm not being specific to this administration. It's something that has happened over a period, and I also mentioned that in Edo State there have been the record is out there of several instances of attacks against communities. In fact, it's still ongoing at the moment. Just yesterday, I was waking up around 10 p.m. Call from my state secretary, where armed men went to a village and killed 9 people and abducted. In fact, we still don't know the number of persons who were abducted across the country. In fact, just last week we've seen protests in the southwest, in Benue State, in parts of the south, against the activities of gunmen. Some will label the gunmen as herders, others will just call them violent criminality. I would rather call them non-state handlers. Because for instance, if you say they are herders, is it the same herders that are doing what in Sokoto as an example? So I think we need to come together as a people to identify the bad ones among us without ethnic leveling or religious leveling. Because when we do ethnic leveling, as an example, when you level a criminal felony, you are now including about 35 million people, innocent people. And in the last count, there are more than 22 legitimate Fulani associations that are paying their taxes, that are law abiding. So when you now generalize and profile in that manner, it will be very difficult for those law abiding to support you. But when you now level the crime for what it is without associating ethnicity, those law abiding persons will support us and will address the issue. So I think we need to, as a people, come together to address the core issues. What is the core issue? We must improve public security. The farmer in Uromi who can't go to his farm or her farm, the farmer in Sabonburi who can in Sokoto State who can't go to his farm, it's the same challenge that is affecting them. And as a people, we must come together. And who should we be looking at? The government. If you look at the budget for 2025, more than 3 trillion naira, almost 4 trillion naira was devoted to security. In fact, if they construct the budget, they pick from the different things, from security votes going to the state, from the MDAs, what they have put for security, you are talking about 6 trillion naira. Now, there is no other sector that is getting near that. Health is not getting that. Infrastructure is not getting that. Education is not getting that. So why is it that we're devoting this huge sums of money to security yet we're not getting public security? So instead of ethnic leveling, using religious undertones, as Nigerians, we need to wise up and realize that the responsibility is on our government. And when I say government, I'm not speaking to the executive arm of government. How about the legislature? Is it not their responsibility to oversight the executive? Why is it that in spite of this huge sums of money, we're not seeing them speak up and ask critical questions over failure within the security space? Why do we have a proliferation of vigilantes across the country? Why do we have proliferation of weapons across the country? So we must, as a people, come together, eschew this ethnic and religious undertones, and make sure we ask critical questions about government.
One of the, I think, it's spoken well. One of the major things that I think many Nigerians are so concerned about is lack of proper justice system. It gets more actors. As we've seen over the years, we've seen it years back, people that killed the brother, many of them are yet to even be arrested, let alone be prosecuted. Some that also killed some military guys, some military men, I think in Delta State, I think months ago, only the community leaders mostly are arrested, not the real public people. So when they are not being brought to justice, do you think it's also encourage more people to do so? And when there's no proper justice system, don't you think it's easy for them to leeway of more left? Regardless of what happens, we'll get away with it.
So the justice system in Nigeria is very weak. Some would even say it has collapsed. And it's a whole range of things. The justice system is not punishing the offenders. And when the communities get angry and they act in the manner that they are, the same justice system cannot punish them. So we need to acknowledge that there is a failure of the delivery of justice in Nigeria, and it is a cycle that is breeding for that violence. And there are instances, in fact, we did not know the extent of how bad mob justice has become in Nigeria until we started documenting it in Beacon Security and Intelligence Media. When I saw that almost on a weekly basis, we would document incidents of mob justice. Initially, I thought it was occasional, it happened once in a while. But we realize that no, it's happening almost on a daily basis across the country. Some get reported in the media, others don't get reported. It's happening constantly. The primary reason for that is because of the failure of the criminal justice system, law enforcement, the courts, and then the custodial center. To an extent, they are all three. So when we are looking at the extreme end, which is when people get angry and react, we must also remember that the reason why they got angry in the first place is because the perpetrator of the violence, whoever it was not arrested or penalized. And because the law system failed to arrest and penalize the perpetrator, it is not likely that the law will also arrest them for the action that they have. So if we are going to address this, we must strengthen the criminal justice system so that offenders, irrespective of their color, irrespective of their gender, irrespective of their economic status, irrespective of their political leanings, are arrested when they commit offenses and that they are